Hey everyone, it is Coffee Jesus Homeschool. This is take 7 of this math curriculum video, and I think I'm just going to give up. If this one doesn't work, then we are not recording it, and today is not our day. I wanted to come on and talk about what we're using for second grade math. As I talked about in another video, at the beginning of the year, like the end of the summer, I talked about how my ex-husband and I split the cost of curriculum, and then right at the last minute he said, oh, actually I'm not going to be able to give you my half this year, so you're going to just have to figure something else out. And so I had to kind of quickly scramble to revamp what we were going to use for curriculum. And so I went ahead and I ordered one of those big complete curriculum books, and it's called the Complete Curriculum 2. It has math, language arts, reading, spelling, and writing. And I pulled all of them out, chopped off the edges to even up the edges with the paper cutter, and then I comb bound everything. And the beauty of this is that there's not a whole ton of paper. There is like, it's less than 180 pages. So if you factor in 180 days of school, that would be 1 page a day. There is also a separate section at the back of the book that's testing that we're doing at the end of our school year. So it's great that these aren't a full 180 days. It mimics a standardized test packet, and so that's going to take time to go through that. And so we're planning on doing that at the end of the year. So every day you need to do 1 sheet of paper out of this book. 1 page out of this book keeps you legal for less. I live in a state where I have to have a paper trail. We have to have a portfolio assessed by a peer group, or in some districts, a state certified teacher. So I have to have a paper trail. And so I love that this book gives me that paper trail, but it also, if you were just starting out or you didn't know, you weren't super confident in being able to teach without a teacher's guide, all of the steps to all of the topics are explained out in a little blue box at the beginning of the concept. When the concept is introduced, there is this blue box that goes step by step how to explain and how to teach the concept to your child. And so what we do is we sit down and we take this blue box and I walk him through it. I talk him through everything that they've done, and we point to it as they're working it out in the blue box. Then we will take another problem that I have created, just pulled out of my brain, and we work it out on a whiteboard. And he is able to work through that with me. And then he goes ahead and starts working through a problem on the whiteboard, teaching me how to do it. So he's working through it and explaining the steps to me. Once he can do that confidently, I set him up with the rest of the worksheet. He finishes the worksheet on his own. He hands it in. He hands me in the book. I verify that it's been completed, and then we move on to something else. As you know, my son has various learning challenges and special needs. There's the autism and the ADHD. So we have to do short little blocks of learning. These long, 45-minute classes that you see on these Abeka and BJU videos just are too much all at once. So you can do the page in the math book. We take a break. We move on to another subject. We come back and we do flashcards, or we use Math Facts DVDs or Math Facts sing-along CDs. We'll use Elephant Learning. We'll do some fun hands-on math activities. We'll be using math in everyday life when they'll say, how many cookies can we have? And I'll say 7 minus 5. And they'll say 2, and I'll say, that's right, you can have 2 cookies. I also picked up at Dollar Tree this timed test booklet, and it's addition and subtraction. They're fully reproducible, so I can photocopy them within my own classroom use, so I can use them all the way until all of my kids are done homeschool. And they are just reinforcing the math facts. Back in the day when I was in school, we did what they were called Mad Minute tests. You had a page just like this set in front of you. You had 1 minute, and you had to get as many done as you could in 1 minute. And so we'll do one of these periodically. I try to get one, squeezed in once a week or so. And that again helps reinforce those math facts that need to happen with rapid recall. It has to happen. He can do the higher order math problems, but it takes a little longer because we're still kind of counting out or using a number line or something like that. So we're working on the math facts as we go along every single week, so that as we get higher and higher with mathematical functions, those math facts are going to be there, so it's not going to take as long. I like too that at the end of every unit there is a unit review, or which I'm using it as a test. Here's unit 1, the unit review. We were working with math manipulatives, so you can see that. Greater than and less than. Using a counting line, odd and even, counting to 200, and odd and even. And so that was unit 1. There's your unit review. We use that as a test. It gets marked down in my planner under testing, under a test. So I put unit 1 test, and I do my grading, like tests are worth a certain percentages, assignments are worth a certain percentage. Different things have different weights within the course, and then I'm pulling out the number of points so tests are worth maybe 50% of your grade. So then if you get a 90 average on your test, overall average of 90 on your test, we're taking 50% of that, which is 45. So that's 45 points that you're getting towards your overall grade for math. And then you're adding in the assignments, and the different things like that are making up the other 50% and pulling the points from there. So that is what we're doing for math this year. It's really giving me a lot of freedom.